Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. India observed the 19th anniversary of the Kargil Vijay Divas, the day when Indian forces won the 2-month-long war in Kargil against Pakistan. It was on this day that Indian heroes made the supreme sacrifice for the country to make Operation Vijay a success. From President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his ministers, everyone saluted the courage of the martyrs. Today in Depth, we revisit the Kargil war and the determination of our soldiers who drove away the Pakistanis from the Indian territory. On the 19th anniversary of the Kargil War on the 26th of July, the country paid homage to the brave Indian soldiers who made the supreme sacrifice to secure the country's frontiers while giving a befitting reply to Pakistan's misadventure back in 1999. The day is celebrated every year as Kargil Vijay Divas.
19 years ago, on July 26th, the Indian Army recaptured all the Indian posts in Kargil that were occupied by the Pakistani Army. Since then, the day has been observed as Kargil Vijay Divas to commemorate the sacrifices made by soldiers in this war. This year, the day saw the armed forces and families of the martyrs of the 1999 Kargil War paying their tributes at the Dras War Memorial in Kargil town of Jammu and Kashmir. In a Twitter message, President Ramnath Kovind said, and I quote, "On Kargil Vijay Divas, every Indian acknowledges the efforts and gallantry of our armed forces. We salute the ultimate sacrifice of the martyrs of Kargil and record our everlasting debt to their families." Unquote. Prime Minister Modi said that a grateful nation pays homage to all those who served the nation during Operation Vijay and remembered former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee for the leadership provided by him during the operation. Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, along with Army Chief General Bipin Rawat, Naval Chief Admiral Sunil Lamba, and Air Chief Marshal Birendra Singh Dhanoa laid wreaths and paid rich tributes to the martyrs at the Amar Jawan Jyoti in New Delhi.
Sacred site. On behalf of every Indian, I'm here to remember the great sacrifice made for this country by every dedicated soldier who has been in adverse conditions protecting ourselves. So I take it as my sacred duty to be here and do the memorial.
Home Minister Rajnath Singh also said every Indian citizen is proud of their heroism and service to the nation.
बस कारगिल विजय दिवस पर जहाँ एक तरफ मैं समस्त देशवासियों को बधाई देता हूँ, वहीं पर जिन जवानों ने अपनी शहादत देकर भारत को विजय दिलाई है, उन सभी को अपनी श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूँ.
Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu led the House in paying glowing tributes to the soldiers who laid down their lives in Kargil. Remembering the soldiers, the chairman said the nation will forever be indebted to them.
On the 26th of July 1999, our brave soldiers with their valor, courage and sacrifice recaptured the Kargil heights, resulting in a spectacular victory for our country by regaining control of all the occupied territory and effectively defending our country against foreign intruders. On behalf of the whole House and on my own behalf, I pay glowing tributes to our brave soldiers who faced extreme conditions and difficult situations to defend our country, to secure our lives. We pay our respects to the memory of the brave soldiers who laid down their lives in the defense of our country.
The 1999 Kargil War is considered a turning point in the history of Indian Armed Forces, which fought and won a rare high-altitude battle that tested the fraught nerves of two nuclear-armed nations. The war was fought for more than 60 days. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Fought between May to July 1999, the Kargil War saw Indian Army soldiers fighting battles in Dras, Kaksar, Batalik and Turtok sectors to push back the Pakistani Army. How and when did the war start? Let's find out in our next report. Kargil is an uninhabited mountainous region with a minimal population. Winters are extreme here. More than 6 months of a year, the peaks are covered with thick snow. But despite its hostile weather and difficult terrain, Kargil is strategically very important for India. Because of the Srinagar-Leh Highway 1A, connecting Leh to Srinagar, which passes through Kargil. If the enemy occupies any of the peaks in Kargil, the Srinagar-Leh highway would come under its watch. And if that happens, Leh would completely be cut off from the rest of India. Besides, Kargil also happens to be the gateway to 4 valleys in Jammu and Kashmir. It is for this reason that Kargil has been on the target of the Pakistani army who want to enter Ladakh. Even before the 1999 war, the Pakistani army made unsuccessful attempts to capture Kargil in 1948, 1965 and 1971. In the summer of 1999, the Pakistani army launched an ill-conceived adventure across the line of control into Kargil and threatened India's territorial integrity. It infiltrated well-equipped regular soldiers from its northern light infantry, dressed in civilian clothes, and occupied unheld ridges and mountain tops in Kargil. Pakistan's game plan was to sever NH-1A, thereby cutting off the lifeline to Ladakh and Siachen, while opening new infiltration routes into Jammu and Kashmir, and provide an impetus to the flagging militancy in the state, besides focusing international attention on the region.
Planned on operation which was very badly planned, very badly executed. The aim was to capture the lifeline of India, or to that extent deny the lifeline. The road which goes from Srinagar to Leh and beyond, by observation fire they were dominating it. The aim was not to allow anything to move, so that holding on to Siachen and Leh would become operationally not unsustainable. Unfortunately for Pakistan and for Musharraf, they did not realize the resolve and the strength of the Indian armed forces.
Parvez Musharraf, the then army chief of Pakistan, codenamed the Kargil intrusion as Operation Badr. According to media reports, Pakistan's infiltration plan was conceived in October 1998, following which Army Chief Parvez Musharraf visited the northern areas of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. By March 1999, the first contingent of Pakistani troops had infiltrated into the Indian territory. Pakistani soldiers infiltrated by both foot and helicopter. They built fortified positions and occupied abandoned Indian outposts. They brought substantial firepower, including light cannon, mortars and surface-to-air missiles. They occupied outposts along a total frontage of about 150 kilometers at heights 18,000 feet above sea level. Their positions included the strategic Tololing Tiger Hill complex in Dras that dominates the Srinagar-Leh highway near the Zojila Pass. It was in May 1999 that Indian intelligence received inputs from local shepherds about the presence of foreign armed people in the area. A patrol troop of the Indian Army, led by Captain Saurabh Kalia, was sent to disperse the intruders. The team was ambushed in the Kaksar region by Pakistani troops perched on the mountain tops. On the 9th of May, the enemy destroyed the Indian Army's huge ammunition dump just outside Kargil. At that time, it held thousands of tons of shells for use in the artillery duels. From positions in the hills, intruders pumped round after round into the dump, leading to huge explosions. Alongside, the Pakistani troops fired shells and mortars at Indian checkpoints, helping the militants escape.
The pilots were never used to flying in those areas, had not operated in those areas, not fought in those areas. And the Indian Air Force had gone up to 40,000 feet and the attacks were being masterminded from 40,000 feet. And by the time the aircraft used to come down to about 20,000 feet, it used to pull out of the attack because Pakistan had deployed missiles there which could hit up to a height of 10,000 feet. So almost 15,000 feet out of that air reach, the Indian Air Force pulling out.
In a full-scale reprisal to the incursion, the Indian government mobilized 30,000 troops under Operation Vijay and the Air Force under Operation Safed Sagar. The Indian Navy was also mobilized to block Pakistani ports. The counter-attack by Indian forces recaptured the majority of the positions on the Indian side of line of control from Pakistani troops and militants. By the end of the 4th week of fighting, an estimated 60% of captured territory was recovered. The war lasted 2 months. Pakistan suffered heavy casualties. The threat of a full-scale war compelled Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to seek US arbitration. But the US President refused to intervene unless Pakistan fully withdrew its forces from Indian territory. Facing international pressure and diplomatic opposition, Pakistan withdrew its forces from the Indian positions along the line of control. On the 26th of July 1999, Pakistani soldiers were completely thrown out of the Indian territory, and then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee declared Operation Vijay a success.
It was the most difficult environment, most difficult terrain anywhere in the world. I've operated in that area for 4 years, and I can vouch that any enemy who had occupied those heights and who had strengthened himself could not be dislodged by any enemy, any army in the world. Even the Americans would have found it very difficult to dislodge the Pakis without resorting to use of chemical war weapons or tactical nuclear weapons. Indian army, when ordered to do so, did something which absolutely stunned the entire world.
The Kargil conflict was one of the fiercest wars fought by India. It was a war which united the whole country and reignited a sense of patriotism among citizens. But the victory for India came with the supreme sacrifice of more than 500 of our soldiers who battled the enemy in a hostile terrain with indomitable fighting spirit, grit and determination. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Thousands of Indian soldiers fought against all odds on a treacherous terrain in one of the most inhospitable battlefields to defend the country. The War of Kargil is known for these stories of extraordinary courage that transcended heroism and are etched in the collective memory of the country as a source of inspiration.
It's been 19 years since India won the Kargil War. But tales of exemplary valor and sacrifice by the Indian soldiers continue to fill our hearts with pride, respect and inspiration. Fiercely combating Pakistani forces, recapturing one peak after the other, hundreds of brave hearts laid down their lives in Kargil to script victory for India.
If I take you back to Kargil 19 years back, the condition was totally against us. Enemy was sitting on the top. Despite having all these difficulties and where enemy is sitting on the top, he has put mine all across that whenever Indian forces will come through this. But still we decided, whatever may be the price, we will fight and we'll win. In case we don't win, we'll not come back. So that kind of attitude, and we have taken the oath that we will not come back if we don't win.
A resident of Bilaspur in Himachal Pradesh, rifleman Sanjay Kumar was just 24 at the time of Kargil War. He was posted in 13 JAK rifles as a Naik Subedar. Showing indomitable courage, rifleman Sanjay Kumar destroyed enemy bunkers despite being injured. Rifleman Sanjay Kumar successfully captured area flat top of .4875 on the 4th of July 1999. As soon as he reached to the top, enemies started firing, after which Rifleman Kumar went ahead and killed 3 soldiers in hand-to-hand combat. He was awarded the highest gallantry award, the Paramveer Chakra.
So I think anyone who has gone for attack, who fought enemy in these difficult conditions, is a Kargil war hero, right? Some of them are no more with us. They made their supreme sacrifice. Captain Vikram Batra, Captain Vijayan, Captain Manoj Pandey, we were all fighting together, hands in hands, and we all taken the same oath that we will get this victory, whatever it takes, whatever consequences, whatever it may take our life or we get injured. Many of us were hit by bullets, and we are still have got war wounded thing. Many of them their family have not seen their husband or their son. Their parents are maybe still waiting, kind of thing, but they are the real hero. Anyone who participated in this war, which was one of the most difficult war which India has ever fought.
Grenadier Yogendra Singh Yadav was 19 when he was enlisted in the Indian Army's 18 Grenadiers unit. He was part of the leading team of the Ghatak platoon tasked to capture Tiger Hill on the intervening night of 3rd and 4th July 1999. He helped the Indian Army capture 3 bunkers on Tiger Hill by leading the pack right to the top of the cliff at the height of 16,500 feet. Despite being hit by 14 bullets, he killed many Pakistani soldiers and infiltrators. Bullet injuries failed to deter this braveheart who refused to be evacuated and continued the charge. He is the youngest person ever to be awarded the Paramveer Chakra at the age of 19.
To capture the lifeline of India, or to that extent deny the lifeline. The road which goes from Srinagar to Leh and beyond, by observation fire they were dominating it. The aim was not to allow anything to move, so that holding on to Siachen and Leh would become operationally not unsustainable. Unfortunately for Pakistan and for Musharraf, they did not realize the resolve and the strength of the Indian Armed Forces.
Captain Vikram Batra's unparalleled courage and sacrifice became synonymous with the fearless young of Indian soldiers. Captain Batra was just 24 years old when the Kargil war broke out. His unit, the 13 Jammu and Kashmir Rifles, was ordered to capture point 5140 in his first major battle in the war. In spite of the enemy having the advantage of height, Vikram and his men led a brilliant tactical assault on the enemy. They won a decisive victory that strengthened India's hold on the territory and victory at the crucial Tiger Hill. Captain Vikram Batra was killed in an attempt to rescue another officer during their mission to capture point 4875 from enemy's hands. Also known as the formidable Sher Shah, Captain Vikram Batra was awarded Paramveer Chakra posthumously for his extraordinary courage.
You know, Vijayan gave the supreme sacrifice. We were talking and both of us has written letter to our family, right? Because the attack was so difficult. We were not sure we will come back, right? But we still wanted to communicate to our parents, our wives. So there's a tradition in Amli, if you are going for a attack which is so difficult that the chances of survival or coming back are very thin, you just write some letter. It's written as a last letter. You seal it and put it in your box. In case you come back, obviously get the victory, you tear it off. But if you don't come back, you make a sacrifice for the country. This goes back to your family, to your parents, to your wife. So I was hit by 3 bullets in that attack, but I came back. Unfortunately, Vijayan made the supreme sacrifice, and this letter has gone to his father. You know, still with them, and they do remember. He has written before that by the time you get this letter, I'll be sitting in the sky with the Apsaras, right? He was sure he may not come back. The kind of difficulty in this attack was. But still, what I'm saying, the chances of victory was not even 5%. Still, all of us decided to go ahead for this, knowing fully well that what is at stake, our life is at stake, we may not come back.
24-year-old Captain Manoj Kumar Pandey was posted in 111 Gorkha Rifles at the time of the Kargil War. He forced back the intruders on 11th June 1999 at Batalik sector. On the night of 3rd July 1999, during the advance to Khalubar, his platoon came under heavy and intense enemy fire. Fearlessly assaulting the enemy, he destroyed 3 enemy positions. Badly injured, he continued the assault on the 4th enemy position, destroyed it with a grenade and died. His act of indomitable courage, outstanding leadership and devotion to duty won him the posthumous Paramveer Chakra. These are just a few stories of our martyrs who not just sacrificed their lives defending the nation, but also brought glory to every Indian. There are many unsung heroes whose immense courage and sacrifice has the whole nation indebted. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
India and Pakistan have fought 4 wars so far, and Pakistan had to face defeat in each one of them. Whenever India initiates the dialogue process, forces in Pakistan find ways to derail the process, a feature that was also seen in the Kargil war.
In 1947, India got independence and partition. Pakistan came into being on the world map as an independent country. And in India, even as the princely states were being merged under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Pakistani army personnel disguised as tribals entered the Jammu and Kashmir border. Unable to fight the intruders, Hari Singh, the then king of the princely state, sought help from India. The Indian army not only pushed out the Pakistani invaders, but also facilitated the merger of Jammu and Kashmir in India. Since then, Jammu and Kashmir has been a bone of contention between India and Pakistan. India forged ahead on the path of democracy, secularism and development. Pakistan, on the other hand, had to contend with religious influence and Kashmir issue. On the global stage, India emerged with a different identity, while Pakistan sought military aid from Western countries and tried using it against India. In 1965, when Pakistan tried to infiltrate into Indian territory under Operation Gibraltar, India gave it a befitting reply. The problem was not limited to the border alone, but resulted in a terrible war between the two countries. For almost a month, the Indian Army Jawans gave a tough fight to Pakistan. After this, the UN made an intervention and Tashkent Agreement was signed, and the two countries agreed on the ceasefire. But this agreement remained confined to the papers. Pakistan continued to violate ceasefire at the line of control.
Pakistan got divided into two nations in 71, and ever since the 71 war, wherein we created a nation in 14 days and we had 93,000 prisoners. In 65, Ayub had to go. 71, Yaja had to go, and in 99, what has happened to Musharraf, everybody knows. He is under trial for treason, and he is a bhagoda from his own country. Pakistan never ever dare challenge the might of the Indian Army, because every man in Indian Army is worth his weight in gold as far as the nation is concerned.
After this came the 1971 war over Bangladesh problem. This war also saw Pakistan tasting defeat. In 1999, the fourth war took place in Kargil. Indian soldiers not only defeated Pakistan but also ousted them from the line of control.
The rationale for that was to try and humble India, try and force India to make certain territorial concessions. Also to return areas that we captured from Pakistan in 71 in this area. We had captured Turtuk, we had captured Chalumka and large portions of the Pakistani territory, which we haven't returned back in this area. So they wanted that territory they also wanted Indians to vacate the Siachen so that the Chinese and Pakistanis could link together. None of that happened. And that was the ultimate aim. Without being able to realize their aim, Pakistan once again stood absolutely and totally demolished and humbled.
We had 3 wars before, and this was the 4th war which happened in Kargil. Last war was in 1971, where the Bangladesh was, there was a division between Pakistan and Bangladesh, and new nation was born. But 1990 war was different because this was not like a direct conflict. It was enemy used lot of tactics and slowly came into our territory and occupied all the territory, and somehow because of this he was in a very advantageous position. Though we have to make a lot of sacrifice in terms of many people dying, many people not coming back, but still at the cost of everything we got the victory.
Despite its superior strength, India has always tried to maintain peace with Pakistan. Governments from Jawaharlal Nehru till present have tried every possible way to bring relations with Pakistan back on track. Some efforts were also made from across the border, but the Kashmir issue continued to dominate. In 1949, Karachi Treaty formed a ceasefire line in Kashmir. In 1960, the then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru went to Karachi for Indus Water Treaty. In January 1966, talks were held in Tashkent. The Shimla Agreement was signed between the two nations after 1971 war. In 1976, a period of reform began in diplomatic and business relations. In 1999, the Prime Ministers of the two nations met in Lahore. The Agra Summit was also held in 2001. Restoration of bus and rail services between the two countries was done to reduce tensions between the two sides. Recent governments took several initiatives to normalize the mutual relations, but nothing concrete has been achieved so far. Apart from the Kashmir issue between India and Pakistan at present, there are many other complex problems like ceasefire violations, terrorism, punishment for the execution of 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks and extradition of Dawood Ibrahim. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's it from us in today's edition of In Depth. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter and get back to us with your feedback and suggestions. Thanks for your time.